Structural damage has been changed in Space Station 14, and this video will break down what's changed and how to play around it and get used to the new damages. Overall, you will not really be able to melee down walls, that's just the starter. So there's this new damage category called Structural Metallic, and of the more common objects you'll see in the game, it is both reinforced walls and solid walls have this, and secure crates. Secure crates are like gun crates and stuff, where before you used to literally be able to break them open in a second or two with the pickaxe, where now you cannot melee them at all unless you have a fire axe pretty much. I don't think there's any other melee tool in the game that can actually open one of these. And also on top of this change, you can no longer buy the dual energy sword or the fire axe, so those have been removed from the uplink. So really quickly, just to show you, if I take a pickaxe two-handed, this used to be the way you could very easily destroy a wall or destroy a secure crate. Now it doesn't do anything. And the reason for that is that Structural Metallic has a flat 25 damage reduction to all the melee damage types, so blunt, slash, piercing, and heat, and has a 40 structural resist. And a pickaxe is a spread out damage of 5 each and only does 10 structural. There is also a modifier called Strong Metallic, which this is used in lockers and gun safes. That's the more prominent area for them. It is also used in airlocks. More on airlocks in a second. Due to the way damage is laid out on the pickaxe, I cannot hurt this safe at all, because Strong Metallic has a flat 14 reduction for blunt, flat 15 for slash and pierce, flat 10 for heat, and flat 10 for shock. They also reduce the damage further by percentages, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. You just want to get over the 14 or 15 threshold. So that means if I pick up a spear and two-hand it, or 16 pierce on melee, and since it only reduces 15 damage, you could sit here and melee this thing over 100 times to destroy it, because you're doing one more damage as required. Also, the baseball bat, for example, two-handed, does 15 blunt, 15 structural. It doesn't have a structural resistance to it, but for whatever reason, the structural damage doesn't apply to it. I don't quite know why that's the case. I'm assuming it's intentional because this is part of the change. So having structural damage does nothing in helping bust open a safe, and I could prove that if I take a fire axe. And as you can see, it still does 5 blunt, 20 slash, so it's only going to do like 3 or 4 damage. And yeah, it just doesn't apply the structural damage. So I'm not sure if that's a bug or that's intended. I mean, I would consider these structures, so I'm not entirely sure there, but that's just to keep you informed. Same case with lockers. They're also considered not structures, so they don't take structural damage. However, though, airlocks are considered structures. Even though they have the damage resistance, they will still take the structure damage. As you can see, it's definitely doing the 50 structure damage per hit, and the rest is being reduced. So fire axes still can chew through airlocks pretty easily. And that also means that baseball bats are actually pretty good at tiding through doors as well. Baseball bats are really strong now, relatively due to this, because they were given 15 structural damage. And windows have actually been made weaker as a result of this, so it's actually easier to break through reinforced glass than it was. So it only takes a few swings to actually break the glass, and the visuals are broken on this right now as well. It barely cracks before it breaks entirely, so you have to be cautious about that, especially if you're trying to break something to space. But the baseball bats are really cheap. I mean, you could just handcraft them, 5 planks, that's all it takes, and you can bust through any window and any door very easily. However, again, you cannot hurt walls because of the damage reduction. One major concern I've heard about the structural update is that revolutionaries will not have easy access to guns anymore. Well, secure crates have 80 HP, and they have really high damage resistance as stated earlier in the video. However, a fire axe, if you can manage to steal one from the bridge or from Atmos, does 50 structural, meaning you could break open a shotgun crate in only 8 single swings. However, if you want to crack open a crate in a much stranger way, but that is pretty quiet, if you find a high security door, which you can, some stations use these differently, but they're always used for the vault. Yeah, breaking into the vault's kind of questionable, but having a secure gun crate is already questionable. So anyways, if you manage to get access to a high security door, you can actually crack it open for free. You just need hacking tools and insulated gloves, which you can easily get. So what you do is you just need to hack through the door, We need safety to be turned off, which I got first. So you snip it, and you just keep hacking the door like normal until we find timer, which there it is. We snip timer. So what we do now is we just need to power the door off. So we just pulse the power wire. Then we're going to crowbar it open. And due to the safety wire being turned off, we can move the crate into the door. Fuck, I was not fast enough. Let's turn the power back off again, reopen the door. You could just push the crate into the door like this, and it will crush the crate, and open and close it, and it will crush the crate and spit out the contents, and you can get your guns like no problem. Also, you could push people into it and crush them, but this is a way to open up stolen crates free of charge. Definitely better for revolutionary syndicates. You probably have a slightly more creative way of opening this. I could show it, but there's no point. Another really easy way of opening this is just bomb it with like a CLF3 bomb, or you can throw a cryostasis beaker at it with CLF3. They only have 80 HP, like I said, and you just have to get over the damage thresholds, and you'll destroy them no problem. Explosives are pretty much unaffected from this, from what I've seen. C4 still destroys walls. Yeah, there's not really much else to talk about. It's honestly pretty simple. You can't really melee open crates unless you get just a fire axe, so it's actually, I mean, it's a pretty simple game for revolutionaries. You want to open crates they don't have access to, either steal the access, or get a fire axe, or crush it with a high security door, which is funny as hell to me. Or if you're trying to break into somewhere, either again get access or just deconstruct. Deconstructing is still a thing. You just need welding protection now and a few tools, and you can deconstruct any wall. So really, this update just kind of slows down how fast you can break into areas, or for how cheaply you can do it. I think Nukies are going to have the hardest time with this for sure. The fire axe was really, really useful for getting into the station somewhat quietly, but now you're pretty much forced to either use an EMAG or use explosives, which, I mean, those are obviously going to give you a way easier. And the fire axe was just also a good melee weapon, and it would let you get through the inside of the station pretty easily. Breaking out a perm is also a lot more difficult as a result of this. You could break the windows with your tools, but how are you going to survive space? And what you could do is probably the only real option of actually breaking out is you can grow power caps, and they turn into wood when you're done with them. And you can use that to make baseball bats to break the doors, but it still won't let you break the walls. But that's a way out. Or just kill an officer and steal their access, but that's probably not the most realistic option out of these. But other than that, yeah, the update's really not all that. It's really not that complicated of an update. It just will force cargoes more specifically. This is more of a cargo change than anything, and Nukies. That you can't just break open crates for free anymore, and Nukies are going to have to spend a lot more TC, realistically, in order to get further into the station than before. One thing I forgot to include is the Energy Sword now does structural damage, so you can actually use it to destroy doors more efficiently as well, because doors take the structure damage. It'll still take quite a few swings, but you can bust through doors pretty easily. It also actually is pretty good against glass now. Takes 4 swings to destroy a normal piece of glass, and it'll take 2, 3, 4, 5 swings to destroy reinforced glass, so it's actually pretty good against glass now. Doesn't really change the sword too much, but it is just something worth considering. Anyways, that's all I got. Thank you for watching.